Hey, what's up, nerds? My name is Bubba, and I am here with Jonathan Ng of Lord of the Chords, and we're at GAMA 2020. And Jonathan, you're going to take us through your game, which funded last February on Kickstarter, right?
That's right.
Yeah. How much money did you guys make on this Kickstarter?
The funding goal was $10,000 USD, and we ended up raising $200,000.
So just barely made it. Right?
Barely 2,000%.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, why don't you go ahead and show us about your game, and as you're setting up, kind of tell us a little bit about what made you make this game.
All right. We call this the geekiest, punniest music theory card game, and that's because that's what it really is. So we got this crazy rule book with all the composers on there. And while I'm setting up, Michael, can you read this passage here? It's called the Lore of the Chords.
The lore of the chords. All right, so the power of the old maestros have diminished. Without their lord to keep the harmony, the chords have fallen into dissonance. Oh, I see what you're doing there. That's good stuff. If you're like a music geek, like this is going to be perfect for you. Fallen in dissonance. According to the prophecy, 4 instruments will compete in dynamic battle to complete 3 faded chords. There will be major stealing. Instruments will be placed under arrest. Oh, that's good stuff. We'll show you guys this so you can see what we're talking about. And chords will get blocked. Chord blocked. Not even minors will be spared. But eventually, the measure will reach a resolution. One instrument will reign dominant, and a new Lord of Chords will be crowned, and harmony will rule the lands again. That's hilarious, man. Like a game like this having lore. I love that. I'm not even mad at it.
You've got a great reading voice.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's real early for me. Just been up for a hot minute, so this is cool. Oh man, this is awesome.
It takes about 1 minute to set up, about the time that it takes to read.
Yeah.
So that's what you can do in real life. Have someone read the little rule book, and someone else set up the game.
That's cool. That's a really awesome box. How did you guys come up with the idea to make that box? And it doesn't look easy to manufacture either.
Yeah, well, in prototyping, one of our graphic co-designer, Keith. So I made this with Keith Teo and Pang Junyu, and they're just amazing. I love them so much.
Yeah.
So Keith, he's from the design world, and back then I was using a watch box to keep the cards in.
Okay.
And then he said, "Let me make something." I said, "Okay, go right ahead." And he made this tiny version of this just with cardboard. It was beautiful. We're like, "What are we gonna do with this?" But then we brought it to conventions, and many people said, "I will buy it just for the box."
Oh wow.
So then we thought, "Oh, I guess we're gonna make it for real now." And we put a lot of money to make this mold for this.
Yeah, it does not look
All the
cheap.
parts inside of it, and it's so beautiful. It makes 2 octaves as well. And people always ask us, "How come it makes no sound?" We say it's a Beethoven simulator.
I'm not messing with you guys. When we were talking to Jonathan yesterday, setting up this interview, like it puns galore throughout this whole thing. All right, so why don't you just take a minute and run us through this game?
Okay, this is a set collection game for 2 to 4 players. The goal of the game is to win 3 key signatures. To win one of them, you take these notes and combine them to make chords. Any one chord will win you the key. Chord is just a combination of notes, so you mix these together. On your turn, you draw 3 cards from these 6, any combination. Top up this river. This is any note you want it to be, perfect pitch, just like in real life.
Which most of us don't have. Yeah.
Right. Apparently trainable. I want to try.
No way. Okay, well, I'll watch the YouTube video on it later.
That's right. So then I got 3 moves after drawing 3. Draw phase, play phase. First move, A. Second move, C. I'm actually going for this one, A, C sharp, E. So this C is off key, it's out of tune, sounds bad. So we gotta fix that. That's what this is for. Accidental tokens. You get these by throwing away notes, so just trade them.
Okay.
C sharp, E. This completes A major, so this is mine now. The 3 chords is the Lord of the Chords.
Yeah, just like we read in the lore book. So why don't you walk us real quick through some of these action cards that you have up here?
Okay, so now that I completed chord and I'm playing the bass, we got asymmetric powers in every instrument. I get to draw 2 tokens, so I get 2 extra tokens. And for you, you're playing the piano. I'll show you what it does later.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's your turn. I'll draw 3 actions for you and play it for you.
Please do, yeah.
Okay, you draw these 3. Top up this river. Now you have 3 moves. To use an action, you discard it here. Mozart lets you draw 2 more cards. It's our worst pun, I promise.
Nobody believes you, Jonathan.
They usually believe me after the second one. So the second move I always play is I'll be back. Draw a card from the discard pile. So you can put this here and draw this back out. And the last one is a technical one that you can remove from the game. We got variants of the rules, easy and hard. So this one is called Major 7 Steal. That's why Mozart's wearing a mask. Yeah, so it says add a major 7th to a major chord to steal it. Kind of intimidating. But so this isn't a major chord. It says A major here. Just count 7 from A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. G sharp. It's all on the key signature. You don't have to know anything. So you had this G sharp here. The whole chord has gone to you now.
Just like we planned it.
So the game sort of goes back and forth like this for 30, 45 minutes. And it's great fun. Ages 10 plus can play. And so I tested with kids a lot. I went to music schools and just played with them. And I found that kids age 9 and below 9 can't take turns for some reason. But 9, they're okay. Something happens in school. So we made a bunch of different rules for kids of all ages and different levels. So on page 27 it says level 3. This is the level 3 version of the game.
Okay.
And level 1, we take out the actions, so it's just matching symbols on the key signatures.
Yeah.
Anyone can play that. In fact, some adults like that. And then level 2 is with the actions, but without this very difficult one. And we actually got level 4 and 5 as well in these extension packs or expansion packs. We call this the Who Let the Chords Out? Extension. And they add a level of complexity to the game.
I love that you guys have just had so much fun making this game, and this is one of those like fun-educational games. And a lot of times we use that tongue-in-cheek, like, oh, that's kind of fun-educational. But this one, when you showed like the major 7th chord, we were talking about this yesterday, that like was a mind-blowing experience because it has been, you were mentioning, it's been so hard to even teach that, in a classroom setting of like how easy it is to do a major 7th. Yeah, so you've learned stuff making this game.
Exactly. Yeah, I was telling Michael yesterday when we met in the corridor that the first time we completed the rules, the basic rules, and I played the game with my co-founder Junyu. These cards didn't have these things on top, so it was like this.
Okay.
And we were like just racking our brains. We played for 20 minutes because the game was shorter then, and we took a nap for 5 hours on the floor. And we've learned a lot over the games. Like, so this card, chord block is one of our fan favorites, and it's a designer favorite. So what this does, let's say he's about to complete a chord, A, C sharp, he's about to put this E down. I can say chord block and take his E note.
That's awesome.
But what's even more interesting is the history that goes behind this card. So on this card is Robert Schumann, very famous composer. That's his wife, Clara Schumann, also famous composer. And over there is Brahms, very famous composer, and he was in love with Clara Schumann. So he's chord blocking her the same way I chord blocked him.
Yeah. This game is so like fourth wall breaking. It's very meta, very self-aware. Man, this is great. What we like to ask designers and developers, like what drives you to make games? What made you even want to start doing this in the first place?
All right. So my co-founder Junyu, he was my neighbor, and I would always go over to his place to play music and play games. But just a little bit, backing up a little bit, we both learned music as kids, and we found music theory a really boring part about music. Music is fun, but music theory not so fun at the start. Once you know it and you can apply it, it's fun.
Yeah.
That's what happened to us. I learned jazz many years later. I taught it to him, and then we had the same moment. We're like, music theory is kind of cool, which is a very strange epiphany to have. So then he said, let's make a music card game. Let's figure it out. And we modeled it after Mahjong and Monopoly Deal set collection.
Yeah.
And it just seemed to match very well. But we had to add the sharps and flats, key signatures, and so forth.
That's really cool, man. Hey, one last thing I want to ask you before we get out of here. What's one thing that you want players to get from playing Lord of the Chords?
We want people to see that music really is mathematical and game-like on its own. We didn't have to do anything to make this happen. And I just want people to have a fun musical experience that they can't have anywhere else.
Well, I guarantee you that this is it because we've not seen anything like this, and we've seen a lot of games. So, well, hey, Jonathan, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Where can we find you online, and where can our people get this game?
You can get this at lordofthechords.com, and on our website, there's also this in-stores button. If you click that, it'll show you all the retail stores that we're in. Well, 6 and 7 now.
Oh man, that's absolutely amazing.
That way you can avoid paying for shipping.
Yeah, absolutely. And support your LGS while you're at it. So.
That's right.
Hey, Jonathan, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And hey, guys, if nobody else tells you this, remember it's true. That Jesus loves you, nerds.